It's the first week of March Madness, and we've already had a last-second Hail Mary. Can you imagine what it's like to be in any of these players' shoes?
So many upsets, and that's what March is all about.
To learn more, I spoke with point guard Nigel Pack.
Can he do it for a sixth time?
Who was a big part of the University of Miami's first and only run to the Final Four back in 2023. For example, when you're playing in the biggest games of your young career, do you still have to do homework?
Teachers were really cool about it, and they really respected it, but they definitely made sure we brought our academic advisor on the road, so she had us doing study hall hours, which kind of sucked.
Another tricky aspect of playing in March Madness is the schedule. You win a game Thursday, and then bam!
You can't even celebrate that first win for real, because it's like, okay, like, no, we got another game in 2 days.
Jasmine Roberts here was an integral part of Miami's Cinderella run to the Elite Eight for the women's squad that same year.
Roberts got it back. Jasmine Roberts, count it!
And one question I had for Jasmine is, when you upset a #1 seed like they did against Indiana that year, does it kind of motivate you to try and be the team that busts millions of brackets around the country?
It was like, oh, beat their bracket, bust their bracket. Like, we just say that every day.
History continues for the Hurricanes!
But one more aspect maybe helped, a little classic sports superstition. Jasmine says the women's team only wore their orange uniforms each game, and Nigel says he even wore the same pair of shoes every game. However, that became a problem at the Final Four inside Houston's NRG Stadium.
Jim, we have shoegate for the Miami Hurricanes right now.
In perhaps the biggest game of his life, Nigel's lucky shoes finally broke.
We've got several of the managers getting into the game here now.
Turns out the equipment manager's sprint to the locker room is suddenly much longer when you're now playing in an NFL stadium.
Imagine running from one end zone to the other one. That's basically how far the locker room was.
Miami did end up losing that game, but either way, Nigel sure does sound proud of their historic run.
It was amazing to be a part of it, and man, that's something I'll probably think about for the rest of my life.
ESPN said last year, just before the first men's game, there were more than 27,000 brackets being filled out every minute. Wow. And I gathered players love being the ones to bust them.
There hasn't been a perfect one, like ever.
Ever?
Either.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
It's kind of impossible.
Until mine, maybe.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. We still have
Speaking
a chance. They're all intact. All of our brackets look perfect right now. Meanwhile, despite having only a 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance of filling out a perfect bracket, we've taken the time to fill out ours. Okay, Rhiannon and I have South Carolina taking it all in the women's bracket. Danny and Lionel went with USC. Andrea, Michigan State. Allison with Duke. And Danny's cat Pepper, who beat us all last year, picked UConn.
Pepper's a smart one, right?
That's right. We'll get to her methodology in a second. First, we get to the men's, though.
Rhiannon, Danny, and Pepper have Duke. Andrew and Lionel picked Florida, of course. Allison went with Auburn, and I've got West Coast, Oregon.
The Ducks. You took Oregon last year, I believe, too. Did
you
you
I?
not?
I think I did, too.
It
just kind of happens that way.
No, it should.
So this is how
we all know
Pepper
nothing about any of
does
this.
it. Well, Pepper does. So what we do is my wife, Tina, is about to take a cameo. She holds out 2 toys and then says, this is one team, this is the other. Which one do you want? And then she stands. She sits there. She kind of studies it, decides like which matchup does she like more, what is she feeling, and then, bam, she picks that one, and that's the one we go with.
This methodology beat me last year, despite watching like 50 college basketball games, reading every article, and consuming all pieces of information. This is how a cat beat us.